Hi everyone, it's Debbie with BookandBuJo. Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you've been here before. This is week 3 and we're heading into the last stretch of Camp SeasonAthon Readathon. Okay, not super great lighting, but let's just go with it. So today is Thursday, June 19th. I had an eye appointment for my eye doctor. All was good and don't need any new glasses, so that's good to hear. And then I had the dentist in the afternoon, and that also went fine. No issues there. Yay, good bill of health. And let's see, I finished The Savior's Champion, the group book for Camp SeasonAthon by Jenna Marisi, and that was so good. So good. I guessed the twist like way early in the book, but it was fine. It wasn't like super obvious. That's just where my brain went. And so then it was like a nice pat on the back to be like, I got it. I guessed it. But it was so good. So good. Really liked it. Really liked the games aspect to it and all of the dynamics with like the court politics a little bit and some of that. So it was a lot of fun. And then I finished Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett, the first book in the Emily Wilde series. And again, so cute. I love that one. Very enjoyable. And I have the second one, so I need to make sure I read that. The third one is on sale, but not ready to purchase that one yet. So I have the first two on my Kindle, and we'll go from there. I also made some progress in The Dose Effect by TJ Power. I am a little over halfway through, or right about halfway through. And that one I'm listening to audiobook while I'm reading, and I'm trying to listen at a slower speed. So just under 1.5 times speed, just to make sure it sinks into my brain. But then I needed a book to listen to in the car that I could download on my phone, which I have this one that way, but I didn't want to listen to it without having the book as a reference. So I downloaded Clowns vs. Spiders by Jeff Strand, and that is for the Horror Bingo Readathon with Wicked Reading. And so I'm halfway through that, and it's hilarious. I don't mind horror as much when you don't have the eerie sound effects and the music that goes with it that makes it even more scary. I can tolerate it more when it doesn't have that part of it, and then it kind of more makes me laugh and it's kind of funny. So it's giving me Friendo vibes. So if you've read Clown in a Cornfield, I mean, totally different scenarios. Like Friendo is serial killer, where Clowns versus Spiders is a whole bunch of spiders and a whole bunch of clowns. So totally different, but the vibes of the book are kind of similar to me. And I did enjoy Clown in a Cornfield 1 and 2. I haven't read the third one yet, but I did like the first 2. And that's what I'm reading so far. And what I'm getting up to, I have, let's see. Oh, we have hot water now. Very exciting. Don't want to run like the dishwasher or anything like that yet, but we do have some to, wash some dishes and without having to heat it in the kettle and wash our face and whatever, take a shower. Tomorrow we'll run the dishwasher while we're both awake and around, just in case something happens and a gasket gets blown or whatever from pressure. So we just want to make sure we're around just to be sure. And yeah, I think that's all I got for now. So 2 more books down, got them both submitted for Camp SeasonAthon, and I've submitted The Savior's Champion for TBR Trials. That was my last prompt, so I'm done with that one. Got all of the prompts completed and submitted for Team Asri. Yay! Fairies for the win. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. And today it is Friday, June 20th. Happy summer solstice, everyone. It's a beautifully sunny day here with a nice long day of light. And today I finished Clowns vs. Spiders by Jeff Strand, and that book was hilarious. So to me, it's like a cheesy 80s slasher movie, which is how I took it anyway as we were reading. And if it would have been on the screen with the scary music and the sound effects and all that, it probably would have completely creeped me out. But with the absence of that, it was great. It was hilarious. Thought it was really fun. And that fulfilled the prompt for the Horror Bingo Readathon for the Creepy Crawly. I've got a couple more books checked off of that readathon, which is over at the end of September. And I am still working on the dose effect, and I would show it to you, but you're sitting on it right now to have you at the right angle without looking at my nose or anything. So I'm still reading that. I'm over halfway through, and I'm on it. So you have 4 different parts to this one. So if you're looking for a book with parts, Dose Effect by TJ Power works. And I am on the 3rd part. And so I'm almost done. And I just started it, and I do really like that book. It's got some good information. It's got some nice actionable steps, like here, like little baby steps, but also bigger steps. Like, okay, so this week I want you to try this and make it a habit. And then you get into the next section. Okay, you're working on making a habit out of that one, so let's add this one to it. And it kind of builds on itself, which is really cool. I like that. And then yesterday, I also started Culinary Leverage by Douglas Keane, and I didn't realize he won Top Chef Masters. I just watched that series. I'm gonna have to Google him and find out what he looks like to see which person he was on there, because I don't quite remember. It was kind of on in the background, so I wasn't super paying attention to it, but I finished the author's note, and now I'm reading the foreword, so I'm not super far into it. I just started it last night before bed, so I will make some more progress on that. So far, I'm enjoying it. It's basically about him taking what's considered normal, like, why do we do this? Why do we have all this stuff that when we don't need it, when we could pare down and create better lives for our employees, which creates better lives for our better enjoyment for our customers when they come in and all of that. So like, why have tablecloths when then you need to have them laundered and you need to have someone be able to change them in between each service and all of that, when you could get rid of that and maybe pay your employees a little better, which I think is really cool. I'm interested to see how that happens. He had a restaurant 1.0, and a few years later he kind of revamped some stuff and kind of went with his gut and his mindset, and then created the 2.0 version of the restaurant. And sounds like he's trying to revolutionize the restaurant industry so it's not such a toxic environment in the back of the house. Interested in this. Not sure if I've mentioned it before. I used to want to be a chef. My dad was a chef and a baker, and I ended up pursuing music instead. And then I ended up in retail. So, you never know where life's going to take you, but and now I'm in books. So because of that, all of that, I do have a fond place in my heart for chefs and cooking and all of that. And one of my favorite parts of the beginning, the dedication. I gotta find it because it's hilarious. Cracked me up. Okay, it says, and to all the people with food allergies. Without you, I might have finished this book a few years ago. You annoy me. And as someone with actual food allergies, you could say, like food sensitivities, food intolerances, things that are happening now because of a health issue that maybe won't be there in the future, kind of thing. I totally understand it. And on behalf of all of those who are not nice about their allergies, which I understand, but I mean, you can go about it with kindness. I apologize. And I also want to say to all of those in the restaurant industry that listen to those of us with food allergies, that you make our day. I know for me, no one in my family will cook for me. There's too many variables, I have a bunch of spice allergies and things like that. So like black pepper, can't have black pepper. So things like that, it makes it really hard for someone, and they don't want to hurt me by having something in there that I can't eat. So they just don't. And so I have to do all of my own cooking for myself, which, I mean, boohoo, whatever, but yeah. And a lot of times I have to make separate meals. So I'll make something for my husband because I know it's a dish that he really likes, but I can't eat it. So then I have to make something for myself. So I'm, double duty and that kind of thing. But to have someone willing to be annoyed and take a few moments to prepare something that I can eat that I didn't have to make myself makes me feel loved and cared for. And I don't always get that in the food aspect. And it's not because my family doesn't want me to feel that way and doesn't want to do that for me. It's just, they're just trying to be careful. And at this point, it's just, we don't even talk about it anymore. I just bring my own food to any family gatherings and things like that. With that said, again, I appreciate everyone in the restaurant industry for catering to those of us with food allergies and even those of us with food allergies. We appreciate you. So thank you. And enough of that. What am I doing today? So today, we have a water heater all hooked up. There's still a couple more things we need to do in the laundry room, so we may have to turn it off and then turn it back on again, but it would just be for a little bit. I did a load in the dishwasher. It made me so happy. I can't tell you how much I hate washing dishes. I washed dishes in my parents' restaurant when I was growing up, so I did all of the dishes for all of the patrons by hand. No dishwashers back then. And I also did all of the dishes again by hand at summer camp for every week for all of the campers and the staff. And yes, I hate doing dishes by hand. Dishwasher, no problem. I'll load it up, put them back away, no problem. But by hand, yes, I loathe it. So we have a load of dishes done, and I'm doing a load of laundry right now. All things are going well. It seems like water pressure is fine, like whatever all that water pressure regulation, whatever all that stuff is. It's all working, so that's great. And the other thing I am starting to work on now is trying to figure out my July TBR, my books for the 52 Book Club Summer Reading Challenge, which is, there's 21 prompts, and you do the first prompt, and then the second prompt depends on what you read for the first prompt. The third book depends on what you read for the second prompt, and so on and so forth. So you can't necessarily just pick things at random and make things fit. Yeah. And I think I mentioned earlier, one of the prompts is the author's name is the main character's name of the last book you read. Well, when I had started building the TBR, when I got to that point, it was A Court of Mist and Fury, and the main character is Freya. I looked. There's no Freya author that I could find. So I ended up switching it to There's Something About Mira, and then next I'm going to read a book by Mira Grant. So that worked out really well. And then I'm also now trying to figure out my books for HRCYED 2.0. If you don't know what that is the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. And I originally wanted to do it last year, but I kind of came in late to the game, and looking at the spreadsheet and all the prompts, I was just like, this is too much for my brain to handle right now. No. And then I kind of came back to it, and I was like, maybe I'll backlog everything. So from the time period when it started to where it was then, I'll add in the books that I read during that time. And I'm like, no, I'm just going to wait. I'll start fresh with the new one. And so that's what I'm doing. But that's what I am getting up to today. And yeah, then I'm going to fold some towels as soon as they're done and be so grateful and thankful for hot water and being able to use my dishwasher again. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hi everyone, today is Sunday, June 22nd. I forgot to update you yesterday, but it was great. Been running the dishwasher, got some loads of laundry done, so the water heater is working amazingly, and I'm sorry for the lighting. It's like super bright in some areas and super dark in others. We'll just go with it real quick. So I did finish, I don't even remember when I last told you. Let's see. Finished Emily Wilde. I just finished Insanity by Cameron Jace, the first book in the Insanity series. It's a Alice in Wonderland retelling, and this one was a reread, and I still really enjoyed it. There's a lot about the end I didn't remember. I remembered a bunch about the beginning, but I've read a couple of Alice in Wonderland retellings, and I was kind of mushing two of them together. I gotta see if I can find that other one, because that was a good series too. Anyway, finished that. It was really good. I'm on sprints with Kimberly from Whimsical Narratives right now. We're we're sprinting, so I'm filming instead. But I'm also reading Culinary Leverage by Douglas Keane still. I'm about 25% of the way through, really enjoying that. I finished The Dose Effect. You can see it's so bright. Okay, I finished The Dose Effect by TJ Power, and that was really good. I really enjoyed it. I liked, so he narrated the book as well, so the author, TJ Power, and he had a lot of little quips and stuff in there and kind of expanded on things in the audiobook. So the audiobook, you finish this portion of it and then you still have like almost 3 hours left in the audiobook. You're like, what is happening? But he has some examples of meditations and the nature walk and nature sounds that you could listen to, as well as a 10-minute focus section for people with ADHD to help them get some stuff done, and then also a sleep meditation and a sleep soundscape kind of thing. So that was really cool. That's kind of what the last couple hours of the audiobook are. So I did really enjoy that. And I did finish The Savior's Champion. Loved that. And so I'm pretty much, the only thing I have left on my TBR is to finish Culinary Leverage. So I think all of these sprints I've been doing all month has really paid off, because I'm done. So now I just got to figure out what I want to read. So I'm pulling books from the Horror Bingo Readathon by Wicked Reading and trying to get through some of those. So as you saw earlier, I finished Clowns and Spiders by Jeff Strand, and that was part of that. And then now I'm going to pick up Nosferatu by Joe Hill. My library did have the audiobook for that one, so I'm going to read that one today. Well, start it today. It's almost 20 hours. It's like 19 hours and 41 minutes. So it'll be a few days going through that one. And then when I finish that one, I may pick up one more from the Horror Bingo Readathon. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out my July TBR. I'm working on HRCYED. So I've had some requests to do a HRCYED planning video, and I will do that. I'll probably do 2 or 3 different videos with the planning. So I'm doing a reading journal spread as well. I'm actually having a lot of fun kind of figuring out the reading journal spreads, and without using too many pages in my reading journal, because it's got to last me all year. I mean, it doesn't need to, but I usually like that to last all year. So I'll have like one for the white squares, one for the purple squares, and then one for the reading journal. So I'll break it up probably that way. Last night we had kind of an impromptu date night. We were supposed to go out with friends and they had to cancel. So my husband and I went downtown, and I did take a couple of little pictures. It's the 44th annual Bluegrass Festival in Prescott. And so there was live bands playing all day. We only got to see one of them, the Cross-Eyed Possum, and it's twins, and they play guitar and bass. I think there's a third member, but I only saw 2 of them up on the stage when we were there. They were really good. I'll leave a link to their YouTube channel in the description box in case you want to check them out, and if you like bluegrass. And they were very entertaining. And let's see, we went to Superstition Meadery, one of our favorite places. I am not able to drink alcohol right now through my healing. We want to make sure stay away from certain things just until I heal, and then I can add them back in. But for now, I got a couple more months that I am abstaining, but I was able to smell the 3 samples that my husband got. We like this sounds crazy. Okay, so we like the BDSM. So it's burnt dark sugar mead, I think is what that stands for. And it's the darker ones, and they're usually a lot more bold, and think like dark beer. So as the darker they get, the more complex the flavors and things like that too. So he tried 3 of those, and I forgot to take a picture as they came through. I did take a picture of what the the description in the menu, so I'll put that up here for you in case you want to read a couple of those. But it was really good. We walked around downtown, enjoyed a little music at the Blue Cross Festival, walked into a couple shops we haven't been to before, and found this amazing mug. They were closing, so we had to kind of hightail it out there. Since we're locals, we can go back and purchase stuff at a later date. So we'll go back and I will probably be buying that mug. It's not going to be dishwasher safe, I'm sure, with all that shiny on the outside, but it was stunning and definitely want that. Yeah, so today is going to be a little more laundry because we went a month without doing any laundry, so I got to catch up a little bit. I got to get all of the sheets washed, and other than that, I'm working on HRCYED and TBR-athon. So yeah, stay tuned for those videos coming soon. Still Sunday, another quick update. So I did start Bat Eater and Other Tales, and so far enjoying it. It's a little graphic, but the overall storyline I think I'm enjoying so far, and I'm not too far through. I think chapter 6. And then I also started Nosferatu by Joe Hill, and that one I just started. I'm maybe 15 minutes or so in, so yeah, just started that one. And that's it for now. See you guys tomorrow. Okay, it's Monday, June 23rd, and I am still working on Culinary Leverage, and I'm almost 35% of the way through. And I'm also still listening to Bat Eater as well as Nosferatu. I'm about a quarter of the way through both of those. But today was errand day with my mom, and so we went to the library, and I wanted to check to see if they still had that one book. But before we got there, we went and stopped at, so I was telling you a couple days ago that my husband and I stopped at this one store and had that really cute mug, and I showed you the picture. Well, we went back there today because I was telling my mom a couple of things my husband found there that he might like for his birthday, and his birthday is coming up in July. So she wanted to go snag those, and I got the mug because it is so pretty. And of course it says Arizona, but it's got the Arizona sky up here, and it's got all the fun things. We got the coyote and the saguaro, and it is just so pretty. All of the mesas, yeah, all the mesas and all the little mountains and stuff. Yeah, so it's so pretty, and it is huge. I say yeah, it's about the size of my face, so it's gonna be a nice big mug. Really looking forward to it. And I was a little concerned that this would have to be hand washed, which I'm still going to hand wash it, but it does say on the bottom that it is microwave and dishwasher safe here. So I also think it's really funny that it's America wear, and it's made in Thailand. Yeah. Anyway, so then we went to the library, and I did pick up 2 books that I will be starting in July. So it came in a little early, but it's okay. I'll probably be reading them right towards the beginning. And that is Jawbone by Monica Ojeda. And this one is for Horror Bingo Readathon with Wicked Reading, but it will also work for HRCYED. Excited about that for a couple of different things. The Heritage one, I think, and I think there was one other one. I was thinking of using it as food on the cover because of the alligator, but I think I may have picked a different book for that. I can't remember if there was, I think there was a couple prompts that I could use this for HRCYED. And then I also picked up Final Girls, and this is for the Horror Bingo Readathon, as well as the 52 Book Club Summer Challenge, because I had to read a book where the author's name was the same as the main character of the previous book, and I read There's Something About Mira, and this one is by Mira Grant. So that will fulfill both of those prompts. And I'm sure I can fit it into HRCYED somewhere, I'm sure. What is it? Yeah, it's 111 pages, so this will work for the bingo prompt of by the hundreds, where you have to read a book between 100 and 199, 200 to 209, 300 to 309, and so on and so forth. So it'll work for that. And then we decided to go back up. I wanted to see if that book I was talking about last time, where I wasn't sure what the price was, if that book was still there. It had Rebecca and the Thin Man, and I wanted to see if it was still there and how much it was. And it was still there. I'm so excited. So this has some great options on there. There's Rebecca, Death in the Sky Above, The Thin Man, The Circular Staircase, Above Suspicion, and A Coffin for Demetrios, and it was $1.50. So I got it because that's awesome. Oh, that's amazing. So right before each book, you can kind of see where there's the different colored page mark. That is so cool that they have these really cool pictures in there. I am so excited for this one because it's got a little more of the Gothic stories in here, which is what I like. I like Gothic classics. I remember hearing about The Thin Man a lot. I never watched, I think it was a movie. I think it was adapted into a movie. Oh, so that works for HRCYED too. For Rebecca. Oh, that's The Death in the Sky Above, but look on the other side, there's another picture too. That's cool. Yeah, very excited for this one. And I love Rebecca. It's one of my favorite Gothic classics. So I did get this one. So I ended up spending $2.75, and I got, let me just hold up the stack real quick here. Some of these, I don't know if I'm gonna like them or not. I wanna try the author, and since they had them and it was a quarter, if I don't, it's not that big of a deal. I can gift them to somebody else. But I got all of this for $2.75. So fun. Okay, we already talked about this one. So let's go over the other ones I got. So I did find, so all of these were a quarter with the orange dot. Found The Life of Pi. And this one keeps coming up for different prompts that will work for HRCYED. So I'm like, well, you know, I might as well. It was there, it's a quarter, I might as well get it. Because there's a tiger on the cover, so that works for the animal prompt. And I don't remember what the other thing is. Oh, there's lots of creatures on here. We've got turtles and sharks and a whole bunch of fun stuff. So yeah, this will definitely work for a couple of those prompts. And oh, I think it's for the heritage prompt as well. Different national or different ethnicities for the authors. I think that's or BIPOC authors. I don't remember. One of those it works for too. And it's a classic. It's like the top 1,000 books you should read in the world before you die or something like that. And it's also the winner of the Man Booker Prize too. So lots of great stuff. And then I also got, let's see, this one is a little controversial. So sorry if you're not someone who can separate the work from the author. I apologize for showing this, but I can. Like, I take the work at face value and then can still not like the author. But I like part of the author. Terry Pratchett is amazing. I love Terry Pratchett. And then the author who will not be named. But they had a good omen. So I thought I would give that one a try for Terry Pratchett's sake. Okay, and then these three are all Ken Follett. So I really hope I like Ken Follett because I have 4 of them now. But one of the ladies that I play handbells with, also her and her husband volunteer at the library, and she happened to see part of my stack and she's like, oh, are you reading that book? Oh my gosh, you're gonna love it. So on her recommendation, she thinks that I will love this book. So I'm hoping I will like this author. So let me go ahead and do this one first. Ken Follett. I was so excited that they had multiple, and they also had some more Cornwell in there, but it was not Bernard, it was Patricia Cornwell's. So I didn't get any more of his books. I was looking, but yeah, so Ken Follett, and this one is Code to Zero. I'm assuming this one is probably a standalone, and it's a mystery. I don't know if he writes more standalones and just happens to have a couple series, but he does a lot of the historical, and I do like historical fiction. So this one is The Historical Note. The launch of the first American space satellite, Explorer 1, was originally scheduled for Wednesday, January 29th, 1958. Late that evening, it was postponed to the following day. The reason given was the weather. Observers at Cape Canaveral were puzzled. It was a perfect sunny Florida day, but the Army said that a high-altitude wind called the jet stream was unfavorable. Next night, there was another postponement, and the same reason was given. The launch was finally attempted on Friday, January 31st. So I'm assuming this has to do with space travel. And then I did get 2 more Ken Follett books. The first one is Whiteout. Starts Christmas Eve. That's all we got. Oh, chapter headers are 1 a.m. Aw, photo by Barbara Follett. I wonder if that's his wife. That's sweet. Oh wow, it goes all the way to the very last page possible. is the book. That's kind of fun. So yeah, there's not really a whole lot of information on this for what it is. It's just praise for him as an author inside. So no idea what this one is about, but I'm going to give it a try. And then they had it. I was so excited. This is the one I want to read. This is the one that everybody talks about. And this is the one I want to read. And this one works for HRCYED prompts as well. And that is The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. Now an original 8-part miniseries on Stars. So this works for adaptation as well. That's awesome because I think I needed 1 or 2 more of those. So that works good. Or more options for those. So all I know is Patrick Leo's been raving about it, as well as a few others that have been talking about it. It does have a prologue in case you are someone looking for a book with a prologue. And it's definitely more of that mass market paperback, that super short spine. Which, I mean, I'm more of a hardback girly, but I'm okay with a good paperback. And I don't know what it is, but I am not a floppy paperback gal. I don't want it to be all floppy. I want it to hold its shape. I don't know. Don't know why. But apparently this was part of the miniseries because we have the actors' pictures in here or whatever characters it was. Oh, Donald Sutherland was in it. I do love Donald Sutherland. Oh, that one's a nice one. One of the battles. Very cool. A couple more. And then Horsey. A few more of the characters. That's kind of fun. Kingsbridge Castle. Do love me a good castle. And then we've got Rufus Sewell and Eddie Redmayne. Very cool. Great actors. And she's a really good actress too. I like her too. Is that Natalia Warner? Construction of Walleran's Castle. Kind of fun. Kind of adds a little bit to the story when you can have some visuals in your head. Sometimes it's nice to have somebody else's visuals, but sometimes it's nice to create your own too. But I do like this kind of lays flat a little bit, which is kind of fun just because the spine's been broken quite a bit by previous readers. But yeah, I'm very excited to get into this one. And since it's such a small book, I'm sure, is that an epilogue too? Oh no, okay, so this is an excerpt from Fall of Giants, which is another book by him. So it is actually, the full book itself is 1,006 pages. 1,007 pages, but the story itself is only 984. And I'm sure if it was this size of book, it'd probably be closer to 750, maybe 800 pages. And I love the kind of keyhole here. Yeah, I'm very excited about this one. Has it on the back too. It's so cool. Yeah, so very excited for my $2.75 book haul. I need to get back to reading Culinary Leverage, and then I'll move into the Nosferatu to finish that one. And I have so much time. Like, I've already finished my TBR. I finished everything for all of the readathons, except for Culinary Leverage. I do need to finish that one for the Back to Kindle readathon. But other than that, I'm done. So I'm just reading random books for other things like the Horror Bingo readathon and yeah, just random stuff I'm finding. So this has been a very productive month, but of course I did attend all the sprints. So that was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I attended 6 reading sprints and read the whole time for most of those. So I really got through all of my books from being able to really focus on those during the sprint. So if you are someone who needs some extra incentive to kind of dig in and get some reading done, I would highly recommend joining somebody's reading sprints because they are super helpful, as well as just productivity if you need to pack up your house or clean or get a project going or take the next step in something. Like, they really are helpful, and it's fun to kind of come together and kind of chat a little bit in between and then get back to some focus work. And yeah, they're great. So if you find some reading sprints, show some love to the hosts and join in, leave a couple comments, and yeah, it's just so much fun. But I'm going to get back to reading, and planning and editing. I have a TBR-athon coming out soon. You'll probably see that before you see this one, but yeah, I need to get that edited. I have everything figured out. I got it all filmed and ready to go, so I need to get that edited so I can get that posted soon. But I will see you guys all again tomorrow. Bye. Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, June 24th, and just want to give you a quick little update. So Kimberly had some impromptu sprints this morning from the Whimsical Narratives and the Purple Cabin, so I jumped in on those when I saw that, and I got another like 2 hours into Nosferatu by Joe Hill, and I also got another probably 4 or 5% through Culinary Leverage, and I actually finished Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang by Kylie Lee Baker yesterday or last night, and I actually really enjoyed that book. It was, I don't know if you could say enjoy. I found it very interesting and thought-provoking. Yes, there is some body horror throughout the book. She's a crime scene cleaner, so she goes into crime scenes after the police has been and gone and all of that, and she goes in and cleans up the mess. And so there's a lot of stuff in there from that, so I would steer clear if you're squeamish about those kind of things. But I really liked the subject matter of it. It's the basic premise of the entire book is racial prejudice and just grouping everyone together from a particular race and assigning blame or shame or whatever awful feelings you're feeling onto the entire race, which is just ridiculous. One bad apple doesn't mean the entire group of apples is awful. Yeah. And she used the 2020 pandemic as kind of the basis for a lot of the book as well. And it just makes me think back to a family that is Japanese Korean, and she lived in America during World War II, and she was put into one of the camps in California during the whole World War II thing, just because she was Japanese. And I just, yeah, it's just awful. Yeah, take people by people, don't lump everyone together in stereotypical clumps, because you're usually wrong. Just my thought. Yeah, take each person as they come and don't group everyone together unless it's happy thoughts. I did enjoy that book in the way that it made me think and feel and process and things like that, and really feel for the characters that are in the book. Some of the parts in there, it is a little squeamish and kind of but I feel like it worked fine in the story. It wasn't like there just for like jump scare factor type thing. It was there for a specific reason. So yeah, I would recommend it to some people, but not everybody. Nosferatu, again, a little bit similar recommendation style for that. I would not recommend that to everybody. I have 13 hours still left in the book, so I think I'm like 6 or 7 hours into the book, so I still have quite a ways to go. But if you have any issues with kidnapping and things happening to children, you may not want to read this one. There's not like detailed ick or anything like that going on, but I could see why not everybody would like this one, but I'm liking it so far. I'm getting into the book. It was a little slow to start, and so far I do prefer Lock and Key over Nosferatu. I mean, like totally different. Lock and Key is a graphic novel, but the storyline behind that over Nosferatu, mainly because I think Lock and Key is the whole fantasy sci-fi, and I mean Nosferatu is fantasy as well, but it's more horror than anything else, kind of horror thriller. And I like the horror. I'm not as okay with the thriller side of books sometimes, but it's interesting, it's intriguing, and I'm gonna keep going and see what I think. So far, I like it. I am loving Culinary Leverage. Oh my goodness. I am loving that book. It's basically a memoir of Douglas Keane's life as he became this 4-star chef and his journey to get there from when he's a boy on up to where he is now. And man, some of the things this guy has gone through and some of the things that happen in the restaurant industry and everything just is, it's rough. It's rough. Yeah. And it doesn't need to be that way. It's just because that's how it's always been done. That's why it keeps happening. And you lead through fear and breaking people down. And that's just not right. Yeah. He mentions quite a few times like his friendship with Anthony Bourdain, and I loved Anthony Bourdain. His shows, his writing, Kitchen Confidential, if you haven't picked that up, that's another great one. And just if you have issues with, if you have triggers for suicide or attempted suicide or talk about it at all, you may want to stay clear of these books, but it's just so good. I have teared up multiple times. And I am only like 47% of the way through the book, and I've already gotten all teary-eyed and just choked up a little bit. Yeah, I would highly recommend it. It's thoroughly enjoying it, and I am taking it slow with that one. I'm not racing through it or anything. I'm just taking each page as it comes. The other thing I love about this one is the chapter headings. So it's like chapter 1, and then there's a song and the artist that he listened to, like that. It's the song that he kind of equates to that point in time in his life. And so every chapter has one. And it's just so much fun. I've been finding the songs on YouTube and kind of listening to those as I'm reading that chapter. And it has been such a fun and enjoyable experience. I just think that is so cool. There's a couple books that I've read. Let's see, Binding 13, I think, was one of them. There was another one. I don't remember what the other one was. But there was another book that had like a playlist that you could listen to along while you're reading the book, and that's a lot of fun too. I like that. I would highly recommend looking for and finding Culinary Leverage if you are able to find it at your library or through NetGalley or someplace else, because it is really good. Even if you don't like cooking, it's still fine. You'll still like it. Okay, that's my update for now. I'm going to keep editing so I can get TBR-athon up on time for you before the end of the month. Bye. Today is Thursday, the 26th, and I've been out at my mom's house all day because my sister is in town. So I got to hang out with my sister, my mom, and my aunt, and my brother-in-law, and it was a lot of fun. And last night I did finish Nosferatu. So this one, some of the time it was a 3.5, some of the time it was a 4, mainly just because of, I guess, it moved too much into kind of the horror that's not quite for me, like a little too scary at some points, but then it would back off a little bit, and then I would kind of get wrapped up in the story again, and I'm like, okay, too much, okay, now we're okay again. So I think I'm going to end up giving it a 3.5, but when I do my ratings on Storygraph and Goodreads, I would round that up to a 4. Because it is really good. The writing style is good. The audiobook narrator did a good job, but made it a little too creepy for me at times with some of the voices that she used. Yeah, but it was good. I would recommend it to those who like to read horror. And then I'm still reading Culinary Leverage. I'm about 70% of the way through, so I'm almost done with that one. We still have a few days left of the month. I will absolutely have that finished, and I am loving this book. Loving it. And then today I started Final Girls by Mira Grant, and I'm liking this one as well. It's very interesting, like the concept behind it. I don't want to give too much away because it's fairly short. It's like a 3-hour and 10-minute audiobook, so it's super short, but I definitely like it. Kind of sci-fi fantasy meets a little bit of paranormal. So there's like a little bit like ghosts and vampire kind of things in there, but it's mainly kind of sci-fi. So I guess more sci-fi paranormal, not as much with the fantasy. Somewhat in there, but I think it's more sci-fi forward with some paranormal elements and just like maybe with a little bit of a background of fantasy. But I'm liking it, and I've got about half an hour left in the audiobook, so I will finish that today as well. And who knows when I'm going to end up picking up. I've got a few more days left in the month, and I'll need an audiobook to keep me going because I should be able to kind of draw Culinary Leverage out through the end of the month and kind of finish on that last day. But I need a couple more audiobooks. But I also may just spend the rest of the time catching up on some YouTube videos as well, maybe a podcast or two. We'll see. And I'll probably have this vlog just go right on through the end of the month because I have a couple other videos that need to go up before it. So I may as well just finish out the month and have the vlog end there. And I am so impressed with how much people are reading. It is so much fun. We have people that have been reading like 17 books in the month, and we have others that are reading like 8 and 9 books, which is amazing. I know some people just struggle to be able to get through 1 book in a month. So even if you're finishing just one, I think that is such a beautiful thing. And it was so much fun participating in this readathon, and I can't wait to do it again sometime. And now I need to go feed my dog and make some dinner for my husband and myself. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. It is Saturday, June 28th, and we just had the author chat earlier this afternoon on Melanie's channel. And it was so much fun talking to Jenna Marisi. She was amazing, and you definitely want to go and sign up for her newsletter, and you get a free short story set in the Savior's Champions world, which is really cool. And it was fun hearing about where she got some of her inspiration for the book and for the storylines, the different characters and the trials and all of that. It was just so much fun, and I loved the book, and I like it even more now. I cannot wait to get on with the series. The second book in the series, which is about the same length as the first one, but it's the companion novel, and the companion novel is told from the Savior's point of view. So that's really cool. You get the champion's point of view and the Savior's point of view. So that's really fun. I really want to read it. And the 3rd book is coming out soon. And I think there's going to be a 4th book as well. So check out Melanie's channel down below. I will leave that linked in the description box, and watch the author chat because it was great. But this morning we actually got up super early and we went out to my mom's house. She's just under an hour away. And we installed her little window AC unit because it's getting hot now. It's in the 90s up here in the Prescott area. We're about 20 degrees cooler typically than the valley, which is where you get the 1-teens and all of that, where it gets super hot. But it can get in the hundreds up here too. And most people don't have air conditioning up here. They just have swamp coolers, which is great in June when it's dry, but when it's monsoon season, those don't work so well. So she does have a little window unit for her bedroom, so it keeps cooler and she can sleep at night and all of that. So we did that this morning and did a little weed whacking and things like that. And my aunt actually lives next door to my mom, which is really fun. And they have 2 dogs, and we brought Walter out to play. And Walter usually he's just one dog person, one dog. He's not a huge fan of other dogs that much, but it's really fun because they also have a pit bull, but it's the terrier pit bull, so the one more with like long hair and that kind of thing, and he's a mix. And then they also have some type of cattle shepherding dog. All 3 dogs converge at the fence, and they all kind of like snarl a little bit, and then they just take off running and then running. And this time it was hilarious because Walter usually wins. The other 2 give up. They're like, okay, I'm done. I've had enough. You keep running, young pup. Although they're all around the same age. But this time, oh no, they tag teamed each other. So poor Walter is running the whole time. They'd be at the fence, and one of my aunt's dogs would bark at the other, and that dog would run with Walter and then run back, and then that dog would bark at the other dog, and so that one would then run. And so each of them only ran once to every 2 that Walter ran. It was hilarious. Walter was having so much fun, so we're definitely gonna have to do that again. And maybe when it's a little cooler. Anyway, that was this morning, and then we had the author live chat. And then this evening we have the After Hours live show, which is gonna be so much fun, and I can't wait. Camp SeasonAthon has been so much fun. Can I say that one more time? So much fun. Oh, and make sure if you went to the live show and the author chat to submit those, because you get points for those as well. And I think I mentioned yesterday, or not yesterday, I didn't update you yesterday, sorry. I was sleepy. It was just a low energy day. I was tired. For some reason, my body's like 4:30, we're waking up, but I went to bed at 10. It's too early. And they're like, nope, your brain's on, you're getting up. And it's slowly been working its way back to like closer to 5 o'clock in the morning, but still a little sleepy. So yesterday I just kind of laid around and did nothing. But the day before I did mention that I completed my TBR. I was all done. I didn't really have any other books to read. A lot of the books I do still have to read. I don't want to read yet because they're part of HRCYED and I want to wait until July for that and get points for them instead of reading them all now, because some of the books I've read this time could have fit in HRCYED that I just kind of threw in. So I'm gonna wait. I did pull out a book I was supposed to read in like February or March. I think it was March, but I never got to it because honestly, I didn't want to read it. But I have it. It's a collection of short stories. It's called The Very Best of Charles DeLint. And yeah, there's like, I don't know, like 30 some odd short stories in there. And you know me, I'm not a real fan of short stories. I mean, if they're all fantasy, it's a little easier, and most of these are. But the first story was super short, like not even 3 pages maybe, and it was cute. Nothing amazing, but it was good enough. The second story I struggle bust on that one. I was struggling. I'm trying to figure out even what exactly who the point of view, like I get kind of the gist of the story. It's like, get back to your cultural roots, don't lose who you are as a people group. And I thought that was great. I loved that. The terminology is one of the things that was bothering me. Felt like parts of the story were very disrespectful, very stereotypical, and didn't like that. But as the story progressed, it got a little better because I felt like it was more from the indigenous side and getting back to your roots and telling the stories of your culture and passing them down to the next generation. And I did like that part, but it was only about like 15 pages or something, but it was hard for me to get through that one. The next couple stories kind of mesh together. You have the same characters, just in different storylines, you know, so this happened this day, and then the next story is this what happens a month later or whatever. So I don't mind those short stories because you're not learning new characters and stuff. And it looks like the characters from the second story where I was struggling may have some more stories continued in the book later. At least the character name is the same, and maybe something that's totally different. We'll see. But I'm struggling with that one a little bit. But I just wanted something whatever to read, and if I never pick it back up after June 30th, then I'm okay with that too. So we'll see. But it's something I can read on my Kindle and also listen to on audiobook as I go through the next couple of days when I need to pick something up. So that's why I chose that one. It's okay. I'm only on the 4th story, I think, so it's still like 5% of the way through the book. Plus it's like 460 something pages. It's like super long. So yeah, enough ranting. That's what I've been getting up to, and we have just a couple days left. But I am staying true to my word. Pages with Paige had her July readathons video come out, and I did not watch it. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. You know you're going to find a readathon you're going to want to do. Don't do it. And I did not. I have not. I also decided I'm not going to do Becca's deck of TBR-athon either. I'm not even going to, because I know if I get into it, I'm going to get into it and I'm going to just focus on that. So July is just for easy reading and for working on all the year-long big challenges. So the Horror Bingo Readathon, 52 Book Club, HRCYED, and the Our Fantasy Bingo. So I'm going to work on those ones. Oh, and the 52 Book Club, the year-long challenge, and the summer challenge. So I figured that is plenty. I don't need anything else in July. So that's my goal. Oh, I did get the next book in the Rift War saga. And I was really excited. I'm like, oh, there's 2 bookmarks. I'm like, oh, good. I thought for some reason that I lost the bookmark to the first book, but nope, it came with this one. So that was awesome. I'm glad I didn't accidentally throw it away. This one says, there was nothing left to fear. He would endure or he wouldn't. The Magician. Love it. Okay, and the second one, let's see. Knowing what things are not is often as important as knowing what they are. Oh, so we have Magician and we have a Silverthorn. Very excited for this. Yep, the Rift War Saga. And the first book, you know I was gushing about that one. It is so beautiful. Let's see what this one looks like. And I do have to say, this book is quite a bit shorter than this one. So that's kind of nice. but that is so pretty and goes really well with the turquoise cabin from Camp SeasonAthon. Oh, that is stunning. So beautiful. I love that. Life is problems. Living is solving problems. It's probably easier to do it this way anyway. Oof. There we go. The cover art is by Jeff Brown. Typography also by Jeff Brown. And the board art is by Martin Motet, which we haven't even got to yet. Let's go ahead and look at that. Creepy. Ooh, that glowing axe. That's awesome. So cool. Oh. Is that wings? Is that like a flying spider or is that a bat? What is that? That's creepy. And then the end paper art is by Christopher Gant, which is stunning. And then on this side, very cool. And then we have, oh sorry, Christopher Gant and Mansik Yang. Interior art by Alan Morris, and then art direction again by Petrofilio. So let's see if I can find some interior art for you. Ooh, map. Always love a map. Ooh, there's 2 maps. That's awesome. Interior art, stunning. Ooh. Not quite where I would want my throne sitting, but you know. Yeah, these are stunning, these books. So beautiful. So that's what we have so far. Yeah, look at the difference in size for those. Very pretty. Oh my gosh. Look, these line up. Here and here. Oh, that is so cool. I can't wait to see the 3rd book. These are gonna look so amazing and I can't wait to read them. And it has the series numbers on the spine. I know I was just watching a video about someone saying like, when did they start taking that off? Because it needs to go back on there. Yeah. Oh, I love that logo too. Yeah. So this one has it, which I love. So good job recommending. I did kind of rearrange my shelves a little bit, so I had room to put this in here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fit the 3rd one in here. We'll see. I may have to move some things around. I may have to have an Emma Wong shelf just for her books because I am getting another edition of Blood Over Brighthaven and of Sword of Kaigen because they are my favorite books. And yes, I know I don't need 3 or 4 copies of the same book, but they are collector's editions, so those are for collecting. So don't come at me. So I may do a shelf that is just Emma Wong, and then eventually, and then we'll kind of go from there. And I do, if I can find room in my kitchen for all my cookbooks, I can move them off of here and have a full shelf for that. But for now, we're making do with what we got. The After Hours live show starts in about 45 minutes, so I'm gonna go. I should have taken a nap, but I'm gonna go get a snack and make sure I have food prepped for myself and my husband for dinner tonight so that we can just kind of grab and go. And yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do for now. And that's it for the Camp SeasonAthon vlog. I will have a couple more days linked onto a video next month in July so you can see kind of what happened at the end. And I have quite a few more things in store for you guys coming up in July. I'm super excited for those as well. I definitely need to get started on my reading journal, and I also need to get finished with my magical readathon journal so I can share that with you and introduce you to my 2 new characters. So I will have 4. I wanted to get one for each guild that is in Aeldia, and I've been having so much fun with that. We also have a delivery coming, which could be any time now, so I'm going to go before that happens. Thank you so much for joining me in June for Camp SeasonAthon, and please like, comment, and subscribe if you want it. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other reading content. And until next time, keep reading. Bye!